And happy Monday, everybody. Just going to share this in my private Facebook group, and I got lots of really great questions. Thank you so much. Entrepreneurs, there we go. And then share. There we go. Happy Monday. Where's everybody watching from? Did you enjoy the training that was last week? Got lots of really great feedback. People make some progress. Even lots of people got some stuff on the calendar. I know one person's, I'll give a shout out to Sandy. Sandy actually got something tentatively on the calendar for next year, for 2020. They told her when to reach back out. So let me know where you're watching from. Let's have some fun here today. I got lots of great questions. Thank you for everybody who submitted a question for today so that everybody gets tons of value. And then I'll make my big announcement and let you know about that. Let's see. I'm going to start with Kim. Kim talked about having experience. And let me just before I get into her question, I'll just kind of introduce myself in case in case we haven't met before. My name is Laurie-Ann. I am an award-winning professional speaker and best-selling author. And I'm best known in the leadership area. And now I am working with entrepreneurs and helping them leverage speaking opportunities to get visible, sell out their programs, and monetize their intellectual property. And this Monday show is all about answering questions and helping people out. And today we're going to start with some questions. An email went out. If you're not on the email list, let me know. I'll get you on that. But Kim says one of her biggest questions, biggest struggles is in having experience. And then in inquiring a little bit more, she's actually spoken for a networking group. I'm like, so you have experience. So it's not that you don't have any experience. I think a lot of times we don't consider some of the experience that we have as being valid. So, and let me know if you can hear me okay, because I did do that one other Facebook Live where nobody could hear me. Experience that we have as being valid. Okay, so at least the volume's up. And so where are some places that you can get experience? And a lot of times we overlook a lot of different areas. One, you can set up your own event. Maybe get some friends together and ask them to give you feedback on a presentation. This is great, especially if it's, you're sort of new to the speaking world, and maybe there is an event that you're going to be speaking for. Get some practice. You can get on some Facebook Lives. I would consider this great practice for speaking. As a matter of fact, there are some huge differences in live streaming versus being on a stage. And some of, what you're doing on a live stream is very different than when you're on a stage or a guest speaker for somebody. Because a lot of times, I can't see the audience. And, sometimes you got really shy people and they don't actually want to type anything in. And so it can be a little bit harder. So you can imagine the practice and the skill that you develop from doing live streaming, and then you take that onto a stage. Brilliant. Other places that you might not have thought of, besides some of the networking events that you attend, they probably do have speakers once in a while. Libraries, adult education centers, let me just talk for a moment about libraries. Each library has their own set of rules, so you need to find out about them. But I have personally hosted my own events at a library because they usually have some beautiful rooms set up nicely with audio for audiovisual. and they want you to use those rooms. So consider your library, but just find out what their rules are. A lot of times, at least the ones that I've spoken in, they don't want you pitching or selling anything or even charging people. So stay within those guidelines. But I've had clients who do free talks at libraries. They do bring their self-published books and they end up selling them at the end. And one of my clients, says she ends up selling enough of her books that it's equivalent to a speaker fee. So don't overlook the library. Adult education centers, whether you're doing a one-time class or a class that's, it's going to be several classes, find out more about those sort of programs, those adult education opportunities. Maybe you can set up some sort of a class, some sort of a workshop. And that's going to require some planning because they don't just happen next week. They probably, at least the ones that are around here that I've seen, they're usually seasonal. So that's another, I mentioned on I think it was last Friday, I talked Friday or Thursday, and from the training inside my private Facebook group, I talked about Rotaries. Rotaries are everywhere. It's a fabulous civic organization, and they have meetings that are probably pretty much every day of the week, at least Monday through Friday, that I'm very aware of. I don't know if they have Saturday meetings, and they're morning, noon, and night, meaning like their breakfast, lunch, or an evening. And it's just a matter of finding them. And they're always looking for speakers, and you can't pitch to them, and they don't pay. But again, it's a great way to get out there and get some experience. And Rotaries will vary from you talk for 15 minutes all the way up to I've actually spoken for about a half hour to 35 minutes. And I remember one Rotary in particular gave me 35 minutes because of my topic. They loved my topic, which, back then when I spoke for them, it was leadership. And, who doesn't love leadership, right? And I will say that I have sold so many books at Rotaries, even though, they say, no pitching. But I ended up selling a bunch of books. And if you want to know how I did that, feel free to send me a message. So those are just some places that you can just start and you dip your toe in the water, as I say, to get some more experience. Another idea is think about the meetings that you attend. What associations and groups do you belong to that you're members? Maybe you're paying to belong to a group. Think about those. These are the places that I would consider to be your warm market. And ask your clients. This is one thing that I talk about with all of my clients, and that is to ask your clients what meetings they attend. Because if they're attending those meetings and they're your clients, then chances are they're also, there might be similar people, and so it might be a great opportunity and a perfect fit for you to speak at those places. So Kim, I hope that answers your question. Let's see. And if you didn't submit a question and you want to submit one, feel free to type that in. Let's see. Lindsay says, to answer the below, the biggest challenge is that people think that they are doing me a favor by letting me promote what I do. So there's no reason to pay. Lindsay, I like this question, and this is the first time for me to hear this kind of a question. That's really interesting. And so it says to me that we need to work on like how you're presenting it, and maybe we have to have a little bit more value. And even in my free talks, I always use my speaker agreement. When I agree to be somewhere, and that includes like anybody that I speak for. So my agreement is for the main reason for it is so that we're both on the same page, myself and also the person that is hiring me. And when I say hiring me, if they're not paying me, they're still considered to be hiring me. So it's got all of the information like the date, the location, the talk that I'm going to be giving, etc. All of that logistic information is on the top. I also ask for an emergency contact. Typically, the person who's hiring me, I ask for their cell phone number so that I would call them in the event of an emergency. And I also use that phone number to let them know that I am on site, especially for your bigger events. Then the middle section actually talks about the financial section. It talks about like how much they are paying me. Now, if I'm not doing a fee, if I'm not being paid a fee, I still let them know like, here's how much I charge, and they are getting a 100% discount. That lets them know, oh, she's actually a professional. So this is something that I would recommend to you, that, like that you get something like this together that has this sort of, I call it an agreement and not a contract, because contracts typically have to go through legal departments. So the bottom section of that is also essentially the terms. And, that if I'm traveling with my assistant, that my assistant will be with me. Also, and sometimes I like change some of these. There's always, if any picture or video is being taken, they have 7 days to get copies of those pictures and it's raw footage, the raw video footage, sent to me as well. Or there's a fee for not doing that. There's also like a line about if I am bringing my books to sell my books, that I am allowed to sell my books in the back of the room, that they'll provide a table wherever it is that I need the table. And what else is and if I am selling my books, that I am not sharing any of the profits with the host. So there's different things like that. I don't believe that you are ever doing a free event, that there's always some exchange of value. A couple of other things that might be in that agreement, and I know I went into depth in this last week as well, and I think it was on Friday's Facebook Live in the Facebook group, Entrepreneurs Making an Impact. Also testimonials, that whoever's hiring me, whether they're paying me or not, that they agree to write me a testimonial. They also agree to introduce me to one to two. I usually write like 2 people, 2 organizations or 2 companies who would benefit from my message. So that's a great way to get out there as well. And they have to make that warm introduction. Again, it's an exchange of value. So Lindsay, I hope that answers your question. That was a great question, and maybe we just need to work on your agreement with them. Let's see. Linda Simmons wrote in here. Her question was, sometimes it's telling them my fee. Sometimes just connecting and reconnecting in the follow-up, thanks for being willing to take the time to review this. Okay, so the fee, basically you want to like tell them your fee, and then that's it. Or give them a range. The ways that I like to start the money conversation is to ask them, do you have a budget for this meeting, for this conference, for all the speakers that you have? Something that opens the door. I've also found that recently, and I just in the past year started using Acuity for my scheduling all meetings. And so I made a specific one for meeting planners, people that want to hire me for a meeting. And so it asks a bunch of questions like location, date, and these are some ways that I get to qualify, because if I'm already booked for a date, then I can just send them an email that lets them know, I'm sorry, I'm booked for this date, but I'll be happy to refer you to somebody. Location, how many attendees, and in my list of questions right up front, I do ask them, what's your budget for speakers? And I'll get an answer. So now I at least have a starting point. So Linda, I hope that helps you with the money question. It's just a matter of like, you just got to start asking. you're not going to offend anybody. And that's what I find, like some of my clients, like they're afraid to have the money conversation, but you probably are very willing to have it in other areas of your life. Or maybe you just need to notice, like, why am I uncomfortable talking about money in this other area of my life? And which might explain why I'm not comfortable about talking about it, like right here. And I know, Linda, that you do some very interesting workshops, and what you talk about is so needed. So you shouldn't be afraid to be talking about having the money conversation. And let's see, the second part of her question was sometimes just connecting, reconnecting, and the follow-up afterwards. And my simple answer to that is to come up with a system. You go to a networking event and you've got, a bunch of business cards. And I like to just you just gotta come up with a system that let me connect with people, whether that's on LinkedIn or sending personal emails, and then being able to just, what's your follow-up system? Maybe you need a better CRM. And somebody was just telling me about one, and I was really impressed by how it really integrates like your email, all of your emails and your contacts, and lets you know when you haven't talked to somebody in a while. Let me see if I can dig that up really fast, because I got, it was from Jeremy. Right. Here it is. It's Cloze, Cloze. He kind of like showed me what it's like, and I was really impressed by it. Is it something that I would use? Yes, is the short answer. Have I done anything about it right now? No, because I have been, in promo mode and doing the free training event that was last week, and now it's the big announcement. So, Cloze. I will put that right in the comments. Pretty sure it's cloze.com. In promo mode and doing the free training. Sorry about that. Okay, so just coming up with a system. Let's see. We had some other really great questions too. Let's see. Olaf said, hi, I haven't tried to get out there to speak yet. I don't know where to start because there's too much going on in my head. Lots of topics. I totally understand that one. Thank you for your time. I'm considering the membership site, and I don't want to start without. Okay. What should you talk about? I get this all the time from people, from both new client and even experienced clients. And guess what? I have changed my topic. I've changed, like my topic once upon a time was like personal development and / customer service. And then I morphed into leadership. And now I'm talking about like, how do you leverage all the different speaking opportunities that are out there, and like why you should be speaking, because, basically it's, like you are getting paid to sell to your ideal clients. So how do you know what to talk about? And I just did an intensive session with somebody. It's like, what are you passionate about? What could you like literally talk about for hours? Or what do you gravitate to? Like if you had all these different magazines, if you think of going into Barnes and Noble, and there's all these different when you go into the magazine section, there's hundreds of magazines. Which ones do you gravitate to? What's the section that you just love? I mean, like that's a clue. What do you like to read? What do your friends like to? What do they turn to you and ask questions to you about? What? That's a place to start. Here are all the things that I am completely passionate about, and then what are some of the hot things that are going on right now? Hot topics that are in the newspaper, that are in magazines, that people are hiring for, that you go to conferences and you see like this new theme. Years ago, nobody talked about mindset. Nobody talked about burnout. And now you're seeing like lots of talks on mindset, lots of concern about about burnout and about self-care. I've been, like I remember just a couple of years ago, I was hired by somebody, and that's what, they were like, we want you to talk about life balance. And the funny thing is about that story, and I won't go into it too much right here, but when they called me to have a discussion about their meeting, I thought they knew what I spoke about, which was leadership. And so I agreed, yes. We agreed on the price, we agreed on the date, and she's like, great, we want you to talk on life balance. Then it was my job as a good speaker, as to make sure that I wouldn't be known as a life balance speaker, but I had to tie it into, my main topic, which is leadership. So what's hot? What do you love? What is it that people are talking about? And who are the people that you love to serve? So when you think of these like, three different areas, what's the overlap? There's also a way, and this is something that I work with my private clients about, what do you love to talk about? And let's word it in what your buyer is looking for. For example, I'll take the burnout. A CEO might not be waking up every morning saying, oh yeah, I think we need to bring a speaker in on burnout. I don't want my team getting burnt out. No, he's probably thinking productivity. And part of her talk to make people more productive is to prevent burnout. So there's a way to, like, here's what I love, but here's what the market's calling it, and let's bring that together. So I hope that answers part of your question, Olith. If not, feel free to reach out to me and we'll have more talk on that. Let's see. I know I had more questions. Some people know about the big announcement because they've already jumped on. And so I actually have some more questions about that. Let's see. Here's another question from a caring husband. And it says, my wife is a youth coach. How do I suggest she open to speaking in front of parents? The podcast is coming. So my wife is a youth coach, and so I'm imagining that she speaks not like coaching sports, but she's like she specifically coaches like teenagers. And then how do you suggest that she open to speaking in front of parents? Well, there's like, what organizations are you going to find all of those parents? One place might be, parent teacher PTAs. What events does the school host? What events does the school district also host? You're trying to get to the parents, but what if we can get to the teachers who can help you get to the parents? So there's always there might be another group of people that you can actually speak for. Athletic associations, high school athletic associations, because chances are they're filled with the parents, but they also might be filled with the people who will lead you to the parents. So another idea that I'm just thinking of now is, what associations do the parents belong to? Like, what is there a certain type of parent that you enjoy working with, who might have um, they could be like professionals, trades. Is there a particular type of parent slash child that you enjoy working with? So you might want to think about that as well. So I hope that Antonio, and I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right, the caring husband, I hope that answers your question as well. If not, feel free to reach out to me. Let's see, this was a really interesting one. And the reason why I found it interesting is because there's so much here. And this is from Anu, and who's thinking about, she's you're in Tribe with me. So I'm giving you a little shout out about Tribe. A lot of people are going to be listening to this and be like, what's that? You'll have to reach out to me if you want to know what that is. But anyways, it's something that I invested in a year ago, and it's got something to do with the big announcement in a little bit. So anyways, I really wanted to get into do more public speaking, but I'm not sure that I have the right background in terms of what I can bring to the table or why anyone would book me as an event speaker. I hear that a lot. I'm not sure why somebody would book me. And as I read on, I was like, wow, this woman has a ton a ton to offer. I'm a college professor and I teach communications, intercultural communications, interpersonal and public speaking. So I'm comfortable with the skill in putting together a speech because I have done coaching also on this topic. And I've done workshops related to communication skills. However, I'm not sure how to translate that into a keynote type of speaking. My business that I'm trying to grow in is communication skills, primarily with interview skill type coaching, and also as a teaching and learning strategist, helping folks develop online courses and how to teach them effectively. Whew. Wow, you have so much. Let me just start at the end. You're like, that I also I'm a teaching and learning strategist, helping folks develop online courses and how to teach them effectively. I mean, right there's a whole market to begin with. And you would want to be speaking at conferences that teach online courses, some sort of entrepreneurial type conferences. There's a lot of big ones that are out there. Membership site, teaching platforms like I'm thinking of like Thinkific or even Kajabi. I mean, and others that are like them. I mean, I know that Thinkific has a conference. And I bet, and I know that Kajabi probably has a conference because, I mean, they're having conferences as a form of their marketing. So you could be speaking also for them, because if you could teach their users how to have an online course, how to create online courses, how to teach them effectively, the different modes that you need to have for your different learners. I mean, that's a whole market to begin with. And the other thing that struck me about your question is up at the top. It's where is that word? Anyways, I really want to do more public speaking if I'm right background terms to get to the table. I'm a college professor. You use the word keynote, and for some reason I can't. For some reason can't see it. If I have the right background in terms of what I can bring to the table, or maybe I'm making it up now. Anyways, maybe you don't want to be a keynote speaker. Maybe you want to be a workshop speaker. Maybe you want to do breakout sessions. There are differences in what a keynote is, both what an opening keynote is, a lunch keynote, and even a closing keynote. Breakout sessions are different, workshops, etc. There's all these different forms of what I'm going to call speaking. And it's about like, which one are you the best fit for? Keynotes are typically, this is just, spoiler alert, but a keynote is basically is not about teaching anything. It's about inspiring the audience to learn something, to get ready to learn something. As a closing keynote, I always recommend to my clients that you hang around the conference so that you can pick different things from the different speakers or the different breakout sessions and mention them in the closing keynote. That's a good closer. You want to remind the audience about all the wonderful things that they did learn and how to and then go home and come up with a plan to implement them. So it depends on what you are doing. So maybe your topic, if you want to be teaching more, I think that you just, plain and simple, you have a lot of opportunity, a lot more opportunity than I think you're giving your topic credit for. And you have lots of different, just the cultural communication right there That's huge in of itself. And there are lots of international companies who you could really help and benefit, and would be a perfect match for you. So again, it's about thinking a little bit outside the box. And sometimes when we're thinking, we're too like in our own little world, but maybe having discussions with other people will help you. Um, Definitely, I know that you joined In Demand, and I'm excited to have you. So I think that's the perfect place for you. So I know that there are more questions that have come in, but I don't have a ton of time to go into all of them. But what I do want to help you guys with is I want to share the big announcement with you. This is something that I have been working on for over almost just about a year now. And it was a way for me to help more people. And I had to come up with a way because I'm not going to be able to work with everybody one-on-one, but being able to help more people is why I am doing this. I am so committed to this. I've been at this for just this portion of it, the big announcement, what In Demand is. I've been, oops, I've been working on this for over a year, for almost a year, excuse me. And I'm very excited to finally make the announcement because it's something wonderful, and it's been very well received already, and people are already jumping on it. I have decided, as of Friday, I open the doors to what I'm calling In Demand. In Demand is a monthly educational program that you'll have a place to come and learn about all the different aspects of speaking and building your platform so that you can leverage speaking opportunities to build your business, get visible, and most importantly, monetize your intellectual property. So because the doors are just opening up, and it's this week, the doors are literally going to be closing. I'm going to like share that with you right up front. The doors will close on Friday. And I am here to answer lots of questions. Any question that you have regarding the membership site. And it's going to be monthly education. I'm going to have a theme for the month. Things like I'll be talking about, let's see, I had a little list of like humor. In the speaking world, we say the more they laugh, the more money you make. Contracts and agreements and negotiations. What products can you make to monetize your intellectual property? How to put a presentation together, your story banks, how to craft amazing stories that you're not telling your audience, but you're inviting your audience into an experience. So that's going to be what In Demand is all about. So there'll be 3 things that you are definitely going to get every month. And this is just my plan just to start out. And as we go along, we move along, I'll probably add things on there. I already have some things that are on my list of things that I want to add to it, but we're going to get started first. There'll be a video training you in whatever the theme of the month is. There'll also be some sort of a download, whether that's a workbook, a checklist, etc. Some sort of download. And then most importantly, there'll also be a monthly Q&A call. And this can be like live. You can either ask me questions about that month's topic or anything. Almost be like laser coaching, but I'm going to be here. It's going to be at least an hour. Once a month, you'll submit your questions is how I'm figuring this so that I can do exactly what I did today and start answering some questions, but maybe a little bit more in depth. It will be in a private Facebook group, very private Facebook group. There's also going to be lots of community so that you've got support from other people encouraging you, a place that you can come to and share opportunities. Here's my win. Here's my struggle, and to get feedback both from myself and from others. So it's going to be like our little corner to like, how are we all using speaking, and how are we planning on using it, and to keep moving forward. So that's part of it. Also, by being a member, You'll also get discounts on other programs that I do. Like if you want to work with me, like one-on-one, some private coaching to work specifically on your presentation, your speaking business, etc. We are going, like you'll get a discount on private coaching. Any masterminds or any other programs that I end up having, you'll actually get a discount off of that. Lots of things that I'm just kind of like developing, but basically when you join, you are going to be considered a founding member. And because you're a founding member, you're actually going to get the best price ever. And when you go on to, like right up there, bit.ly/in-demand, that gives you lots of information about what the program is going to be about. It's been well received. I've already had people that are jumping on and they're joining, and it's going to, I'm so excited to be able to serve you in this way. I am like tickled pink that this is my new offering that I've been working on for a year, just about, and it's like all finally coming together. I'm here to help you, and as founding members, you are going to have a say in this. I'm kind of like considering my founding members to be kind of almost like a board of directors almost. Your opinions are going to matter, because I'm going to ask. I'm not going to, dictate how this is all going to run. And I mean, I want your feedback. And the other thing about this, when you sign up, when you go to the in-demand, that's the sales page that gives you lots of information about this. When you go there, it will, and you click on, yes, I want to be a founding member. Yes, I want to be a member of in-demand. You're only paying $1 today. That's right. The $1 is just to hold your seat. And then come April 1st, it will be $29 a month. That's it. I know that's what you're thinking, because everybody who is like signing up is like, that's it. Like, but yes, because if you're a founding member, I think that you should have the best price ever. And like I said, the doors are going to close on Friday. That's all there is to it. Doors are closing, and I don't know when they're going to open back up, because I'm going to spend the next 6 weeks between now and April 1st developing the content for the first couple of months, if not 3 months, and so that we have something so that we all have something that's like, I need something to give you to critique. I guess I'm getting a little tongue-tied there. And so I'm not going to open the doors again, and I don't know when that is, but this is you get in now, your price will never, ever change. But the next time I do open the doors, it will be more. It definitely will be more, because my vision for in-demand is that it's going to be something absolutely wonderful. Can you cancel at any time? Of course you can. But my goal for myself is that this is going to be so wonderful, so loving, so supportive, and so educational, and give you the information, everything that you need to leverage speaking opportunities in your business, that you're never going to want to leave. That's the kind of program that I am developing. I want this to be an experience, both online and also virtually, and also live. My intentions, in the future, is to have live events with photography, with, critiquing, like being able to get great feedback, give your presentation in front of an audience. Let's photograph, let's do videos, let's give you feedback on your presentation. All like just lots and lots of great ideas that I've got. But to begin with, there's going to be 3 definite things every single month. There'll be some sort of a video training, there'll be some sort of a downloadable, and then there'll be the live Q&A call every single month. And if you go to bit.ly in demand, you can learn all about the program. Forgive me if there are any spelling mistakes or any grammar mistakes, but I did this early and wanted to get this out to you so that people had a place to just kind of like look, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about this. But this has been fun in developing, and I'm like so thrilled that it's coming to fruition, and the doors are open to in-demand is what we're calling it right now. And I will be hosting it. That's been another question, is where is it going to be? Is there a website? I'm going to host it for now as we get started. on Facebook. So a nice little community where, like, I've got my Facebook group, but this one will be a private, closed Facebook group for us. And the only people who are going to be in there are going to be the paying founding members. So I would love for you to become a founding member. If you are ready to start speaking, don't know how to get started, don't even know what your topic is, how do I put a presentation together, how do I make it funny, like all of that stuff is going to be in there, and we are going to be working on that together, so you'll never, ever be alone. And I want to make it a lot of fun, because I think when you're having lots of fun, you are learning. So let me know if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, feel free to DM me or send me an email, whatever works for you. I'm here to answer all of your questions. And I hope you guys all have a fabulous Monday afternoon. Well, it's Monday afternoon here. It's snowing a little bit outside. And I will look forward to seeing you and welcoming you into In Demand. Have a great afternoon.